Hello everybody and welcome back, and today we are going to be talking about the QiYi M Pro 3x3 Rubik's Cube here. Just got this puzzle a couple days ago, so I've had some time to play around with it, and I am ready to give it a review. This video is actually a requested one. I wasn't sure if I was going to review this puzzle, but because it was requested, here we are, and I'm ready to tell you guys what I think. Before we get into the review though, I do have to stop and ask you guys to please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate it, and it keeps me making videos like this. I love doing this for you guys. It's incredible. Anyways, let's get into the video. Alrighty, so here we have the QiYi M Pro 3x3 V2. I like this puzzle a lot. It's pretty good. It turns, it's fast. I mean, I've lubricated it. It's going to come really, really dry out of the box, so you're going to definitely want to lubricate it. But it's fast. It's consistent. It's got pretty good corner cutting, I would say, which is nice. We always like that in a puzzle. It is spring tensioned, no maglev. This is the UV coated one though. I think the UV coating is a bit too shiny for me, if that makes sense. It gets a bit too slick. But I've kind of gotten used to that, and it kind of gets a little better with break-in. So that's helpful. It also is a QiYi cube, so you'll have to rub some lubricant off of it to make it, you know, not super slippery because of that. One thing I did find interesting about this puzzle, and this is going to be probably the focal point of my review, is some of the pieces look a lot like the TV4. So it makes me think that this is maybe another even more souped down version of a TV4. Even though it's a different line of puzzles from QiYi, and we're going to take a look at that. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to pull together both of them. We're going to pull some of them apart. We're going to look inside. We're going to take a look at the pieces, and we're going to compare the two, because that is something I noticed pretty quickly when I was first taking a look at this puzzle. Worth noting, before we start doing that, this puzzle is about $20 for the UV coated one, a bit cheaper for the non-UV coated one. Very good price point. I think price to performance, it's going to get a 10 there because it performs quite well, and its price is very good for that performance that you get. So that is a lovely thing about this puzzle, is you can get a really good puzzle for a really good price. Even better if you don't like UV coated. I personally like UV coated. One thing I will say about the UV coating though is the edges on these pieces are quite rounded, and with the UV coating plus the lube on the outside, it's going to be quite slippery, and when you're turning, you'll probably find yourself slipping a lot on those edges. It will get better. Part of it is you getting used to it, and part of it is once you get the lube off the outside, you know, and you break it in a bit, it'll just naturally get better. But right out of the box, that was something I also noticed that I wanted to mention about this puzzle. But all right, let's take these puzzles apart. I want to compare the pieces of these puzzles because, again, like I said, I thought that there were some interesting similarities. First thing, well, look at the outside. The edges on the TV4 are a little bit more sharp than the edges on this, and the UV coating on the TV4. I mean, I've had this for a while, so I've broken it in a lot, but the UV coating is a bit better than the UV coating that they put on this. Not that they're both not good, but it's just a different, you know, type of coating. Whereas like this one's quite slick, and this is a lot less slick. You know, your holes look rather similar, and that's probably because when we pull it apart and look at it, your center cap is the exact same on both puzzles. And size-wise, it looks like the QiYi M Pro has maybe like 1/4 of a millimeter size-wise on it. Other than that, they're about the same, so no differences really there. But let's pull off these center caps, and we'll take a look. So I'm going to focus more on the QiYi M Pro because that's what this video is about. But if you take a look at these, the center caps, they are the exact same. Nothing different about them. The only thing different about these specific center caps is they're the white ones. They have different logos. We're not going to talk about the tensioning system on the TV4 because that's completely different. And obviously, just really quick, that this doesn't have those repelling edge magnets or anything, or adjustable magnets at all, period. So that's, you know, that's a pretty big difference. But I mostly care about like center shape and piece shape. So if we already look at the centerpiece looks the exact same. So we just got to quick look at the QiYi there. Here's the X-Man TV4 piece. They look the exact same. There's very little difference, if any. then we have the tensioning system here. Worth noting, it is a spring tensioning system, and then you can spin this by hand for, I think, center travel. So pretty simple tensioning and adjustment system, but it's effective and it gets the job done. Now I want to pull out a corner and an edge and take a look at them. And there are some glaring differences, but there's also some similarities that I want to talk about. Obviously, again, like I already stated, you know, this is the Pioneer. It doesn't have those repelling magnets. And obviously, this has a ball core, whereas this does not have a ball core. This is a standard core with the extra parts for your corner-to-core magnets. If you look at these, let's start with the corner pieces. Obviously, the TV4 has these adjustable magnets, whereas the QiYi M Pro does not. But if you take a look at it, the corner stalks are pretty much the same, and the corner pieces themselves, there's some differences here where these ridges are. You can see, like, this has like a little hole here, and it's sharper where this is more curved. But other than that, like, your piece structure is relatively similar, especially around your stock area. That looks to be rather the same. The only difference is, you know, obviously this has primary plastic, but yeah, it's very, very similar. Your magnet structure, all that looks to be about the same. Yes, I know I need to clean out my TV4. Don't worry about it. And let's look at the edge pieces here. Now, this is where we get some more variation. You know, you can tell that there's some extra, like, lines in here. So we have like a divot here on the QiYi M Pro, whereas, like, you don't have that on the TV4. So it's more smooth. And you have primary plastic on the TV4, which I assume probably helps with speed. On the QiYi M Pro, though, you do actually have a magnet on the edge piece here that I imagine attracts to... Oh, there's a cat hair gets all over my puzzles, guys. You have a cat, that's what you're expecting. I imagine that these little tiny magnets probably attract to those corner-to-core magnet sections when it passes over it, but it's small enough so that it doesn't, like, misalign your cube at 45 degrees every time it does it. So I imagine that they attract to that. Or repel it, honestly. They might actually be repelling magnets. I don't actually know. I just know that there's magnets that are in there to to help it stay in alignment. And you're going to feel that when you're solving. Actually, we can try to get a feel as I look at this. Let's try to get a feel for this. They definitely... Okay, yeah, so these little tiny magnets, it feels like they repel from the corner-to-core magnet section on the core, which would definitely help when you turn, because, you know, you're not... Like I said, it's going to help with your auto alignment, because it's going to push it away from it as you turn through it, which is nice. You know, that's something the TV4 doesn't have. I mean, TV4 has the edge repelling magnets, but whatever. But as you can see, like, the pieces on these puzzles look quite similar to each other, given a few minor differences, especially the corners. The corners have, like, one major difference, aside from the adjustable magnets, that, you know, it's very, very similar, and it makes me feel like this is just another version of, like, a souped down TV4, which isn't a bad thing. TV4 is a wonderful puzzle, so, you know, yeah, you've taken away features, but you've also made an incredibly strong budget puzzle that is going to be useful and helpful for a lot of cubers. I mean, some of these flagship cubes are costing upwards of $50, $60. So making a budget puzzle this good that looks and feels just like a tuned down version of the TV4, even more so than the XT3. I mean, you're looking at such a great puzzle for such a great price, and it's simple too. So it's good for beginners and for people who have been cubing for a while. And that's, I think, the most beautiful thing about this puzzle is there's nothing crazy. It's nothing intense. You know, it's rather simple. It's easy to adjust. It's easy to set up. And anybody can use it because of that. You know, I mean, I'm using it and I'm averaging about 13 seconds. But somebody who, like, is buying their first speedcube ever could get this puzzle. It's a reasonable price. It's simple enough for them to understand all of the adjustments and stuff you can make. And it performs so well for the price point. I mean, it's probably one of the best 3x3s that I own if you take into account all of those things. You know, if you were just looking at performance, sure, there's a few better things out there, but taking into account all of the other factors like price, you know, the market, who it's for, that stuff. I mean, this puzzle is so good. Like, QiYi knows exactly what they're doing when they made this puzzle, and it shows. You know, it's one that you can recommend it to anybody, and they should be happy with it. I mean, realistically, it's good. That's it. It's just good. It's enjoyable. I mean, the only things that I found with it out of the box that are issues were those few things I talked about with like the extra lube and the very slippery UV coating and like the edges. But you get used to that and it goes away and you break it in and it's no longer a problem anymore. So once you're getting into it and you're using it, it's broken in. Like there's nothing really bad about this cube to not like. I mean, it turns so well. It's easy, it's simple. And because of that, I think for me, this gets a 9.5 out of 10 rating. And the only reason I don't give it a perfect score is because nothing's perfect. I'm sure that we can all find something that we'd want to see changed or improved about this puzzle. But I think for the second version of this, I think QiYi hit it spot on. They hit the nail right on the head. And the product of that is a good puzzle that's going to be able to do wonderful things for a wide variety of cubers and varying times and varying turning styles. And because of that, again, I give it a 9.5 out of 10, and I think that it is worth your money if you're going to buy it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. That being said, thanks for watching my review. I really appreciate it. If you have this puzzle, or you're getting this puzzle, or you want this puzzle, let me know in the comments below. Tell me what you think your favorite thing is about it if you have it, and what you're expecting from it if you're getting it. And I would really appreciate that. And I look forward to talking to you guys all in the comment section. Anyways, peace out. Have a good one. Farrak out.